Okay, so greetings everyone. Today I was going to show you a sneak peek of our REST APIs. So like some of you might know, we have a PowerShell API today, but behind that we have already an REST API. So the PowerShell commandlet or all the commandlets, they talk with our backend through REST. So you can actually circumvent PowerShell and do the REST calls yourself already. Um, so let's get down to it and see if we can do have a quick demonstration. Um, so we can start do this in PowerShell just to show how it works. And then we can do it in Postman as well, because I know that some of you dislike PowerShell for some reason, whatever. I think it's very, very nice indeed. So I'm going to point towards my local instance of Zervicepoint, 30,000, and 30,000 is the port to the REST API, and then you specify your store, and then API 2, and then comes the controller name. So I'm going to start with getting all the orders. And then we need a header. Double snuff today, yeah. And you need to authenticate with our with a REST API with a key. So and the key, of course, you go in your store API authentication, and sometimes you have ADFS, but in my example now you need to have the key. You can do this with ADFS as well, but I'm not going to test this today. And then you generate the key, you copy the key and everything, and then you go back here, and here I have my key. So let's put that in the header, and I need to do that in the correct way. I think it's in authorization, and then it's a bearer key. So bearer, blank space, and the key. And let's see if that works. Yeah, it does work. So I can put them in orders. Run it again. $92 orders. And if I take order 11, I can see here that we have already serialized nice objects. Most of it serialized anyway. The parameters not serialized. But you're able to read them, you can work with it. We can do it a different way as well. With a different commandlet web request, and I think it has the same parameters, so I can just copy the whole thing. Almost said something else. And we run that. And can we do count here? No, we can't. So we just get a response back here. So if I look on that, we get the status code 200, status description okay, and some headers and stuff here, and we have the whole a response in the content property. So I look at that, and that's just a JSON representation of all the orders that we retrieved. Okay, so that's pretty cool. If you want to try with your own service point, you need to first have authentication set on the API set to key. If you're going to put it like this, else you would need to do it with I think for ADFS you need to have SAML, and the key or the token you would need to retrieve from ADFS, but you can do that, but we're not going through that today. Okay, so let's say I want to delete an order. So first we need to change the rest method to delete. And then we need to say a specific order that we want to delete. So let's say I want to delete this order. It has order ID 1080. We take the parameters in a query in the URI. So you put the question mark because now, and you tell the API that now we have the parameters coming, and I think it's order ID. I have it here, so I can sneak peek on the controller. Order ID, and here we have a bunch of other parameters, but all of these have default values, so they aren't required. Equals 1080. Let's try that. And it worked. I didn't get anything back though. Can we delete a different order? We can actually do it like this. Okay, we need to stringify it, I guess. Can we do that? It's been a while since I worked with PowerShell, but yeah, it worked. Okay, so we put the order ID in there. I wonder if we can change this to web request and maybe get some kind of answer back. Yeah, I got an OK at least. If you don't want to use web request here, when you do delete, you can do REST method and you can put it in a try catch instead. And you can, if you can't delete something in your script, you can, yeah, it will end up in catch anyway. So you don't have to look on the status code 200. Okay, so we can do this in Postman instead. I know that many of you use Postman. And here I already done it. So I have to, this is a different store, but I have to specify the URL here, and I have to have a header. No, I need to have authorization and choose bearer token and just put it in here. So they have some kind of, well, they have built-in support for bearer tokens. So we're following a standard there. And you can post and you get the response down here. So that's quite nice. Here's a different example where I basically working with documentation of our REST API, and we want to automate that so as far as we can. So I'm using nswag here, and we have a web API. So I'm just taking all our controllers and going through them with reflection and stuff to get all parameters and everything. And then it generates this kind of documentation, and it's called Swagger, or nowadays it's called Open API. So it's a specification, and if you follow this specification, you can have a page render it for you like this. And the cool thing with Swagger or Open API, and in this case I'm using Swagger UI to render or illustrate the documentation. I get tons of stuff free, so I can click on order here. For the first thing, I get the whole user experience here for free, which is swell. And I get all the parameters, and I can put order IDs in here, and I can try it out, and I can, well, it will say no response from server because I haven't injected a bearer token, but I get a request URL, so I can just copy this and put in my C# project or whatever. So this is what we're going to create now, and this is what you will be able to take part of and use when you're developing integrations with Zervicepoint. Okay, so that's everything for today. Yeah, see you next time.